All right, welcome back everyone to Vuln Vibes. Ready for another deep dive.
Always.
So today we're going deep on CVE 2025-20029.
Ooh, that's a nasty one.
Yeah, it's a command injection flaw in you guessed it, F5 BIG-IP systems. And I know, you're all security ninjas here.
Yeah, we don't need the basics.
So we're skipping right to the good stuff, why this one is keeping us up at night.
Well, for starters, think about how many companies rely on F5 BIG-IP.
Right. They're everywhere.
It's like the backbone of so many networks. Load balancing, traffic management, keeping those applications secure.
Critical infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that's why this vulnerability, well, got everyone's attention.
Especially since there's already a working exploit out in the wild.
Yeah, no messing around with this one. Patch now, folks. But let's break it down a little.
All right, so at its heart, CVE 2025-20029, it's a command injection vulnerability.
Okay. Command injection, that's never good.
Not at all. And this one affects both the iControl REST API, for remote management, and the BIG-IP's own command shell, the tmsh.
So double the attack surface right there.
Exactly. More ways for the bad guys to get in. And we're talking about versions 17.x, 16.x, even some 15.x branches.
That's a lot of potential victims. What happens if they actually exploit this thing? What's the worst case scenario?
Well, because this hits the control plane.
The control plane.
Think of it like the brain of the system. Attackers could reconfigure the whole thing.
Firewall rules. Admin accounts.
They
could even break the device.
Potentially, yeah. And they're doing it all without even touching the data directly.
Sneaky. Now, what about this tmsh bypass? I heard even low privilege accounts could get in on this.
Yeah, that's the really clever part. There's this command, save sysconfig partitions.
Yep.
Seems harmless, right? But attackers can slip in these special character sequences.
Like a secret code?
Sort of. They trick the system into reading their injected code as separate commands, and those commands, they run with root privileges.
So even an auditor role, someone who's just supposed to be checking things, could suddenly have full control.
It's wild, right? And the proof of concept is ridiculously simple. It's circulating online. You can see for yourself. Just a basic injection and boom, they're in.
Yikes. Okay, so the message is clear. Patch ASAP. But what if you can't patch right away? What can you do to at least make things harder for the attackers?
Mitigation is key. First things first, lock down the iControl REST API. Only trusted networks and devices.
Like putting a big lock on the front door.
Exactly. You can also block it via self-IP.
And setting that port lockdown to allow none, right?
You got it. And obviously, restrict iControl REST on those management interfaces. Can't let anyone exploit that externally.
Okay, so we're minimizing the attack surface. But as always, it comes down to the basics too, right?
Absolutely. Least privilege, least privilege, least privilege. Make sure only the people who absolutely need tmsh access have it. And watch those logs. Keep an eye on SSH access, anything suspicious.
It's about being proactive.
Yeah.
Assuming someone's already trying to get in.
That's the mindset, yeah.
All right, so to recap, we've got a critical vulnerability, publicly known exploit, and it could give attackers complete control over a huge number of BIG-IP systems.
Yeah.
Patch. But also take steps to mitigate because it's probably already being actively exploited.
Absolutely. And on a larger scale, this is a wake-up call for everyone.
Wow.
The bad guys aren't slowing down. We need to be constantly learning, adapting, and making sure our security practices are rock solid.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, I'll leave you all with a thought. F5 BIG-IP, it's everywhere. This exploit, it's out there. So how do you think this is going to change the threat landscape in the coming weeks and months? What new attacks, new trends might we see because of this? Think about it, and maybe we'll discuss it next time. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive on Vuln Vibes.
Stay safe out there.